please still check in at the main table. So, this room is divided into two sections. You can see there are folding chairs in the aisles leading from the doors to the back of the room. Only individuals with a blue delegate badge, a purple campaign floor pass, or a pink all access pass may sit or stand or be in front of the folding chairs in the aisles. If you do not have a blue, purple, or pink badge, so if you are wearing a yellow badge for an alternate, or if you are wearing a green badge as a visitor, it is necessary for you to sit behind the folding chairs. And our sergeants at arms will be assisting in enforcing this requirement. And the reason we have this requirement in place is when we get on later in the convention and we're distributing ballots and filling them out and turning them back in, we need to make sure that only delegates are on the floor and able to access ballots. So thank you all for your attention to that matter. Additionally, it's also important that you are seated based on your precinct. So if you notice, there are paper signs taped on the end of each row, which designate which precinct. I believe your badge should state which precinct you live in. So if you're not seated in or near your precinct, please make your way towards the right location. And again, when we get to the point of distributing ballots, it is important that you are seated by your precinct because they will be distributed and collected based on your precinct. Finally, I want you to all know that this is your convention. This isn't mine. This isn't Greg's. This isn't Brianna's. This convention belongs to you all as delegates from the 10th Ward. And so my role today, the role of all of your convention officials, is to facilitate this process and help it go smoothly. But ultimately, it is all of you who have the authority to approve the proposed rules and agenda. It is you all who have the power to amend these if you so as a body, as a collective, choose to do so. And my goal as the chair of your meeting today is to help you, to help empower your voice. So if you want to see something happen and you don't know how to make a motion with Robert's rules, that's okay. Still come to the front. We're going to get a microphone down on the floor so that folks are going to be able to rise and just ask. And I will help you put it into whatever parliamentary language needs to be done to help you achieve your intent. But again, any decisions made by the body today are voted on by all of you. This is your convention. So I think that covers all of my introductory business. The next item on the agenda, the temporary agenda, is item number 8, resolution of any credentials challenges. So at this time, I would ask a representative of the Credentials Committee to come to the lectern to report any challenges. So we did receive I don't have it in front of me here, we did receive a challenge at one of our credentials meetings. The challenge was to a number of 78 delegates or alternates that were allowed to change their do I want to be a delegate, yes, no status after the originally allowed date and time. It was voted on by the credentials team. It was voted on at the credentials meeting that we should recommend to the body to deny this challenge. So that is the recommendation of the credentials meeting, was to deny this challenge. But we did not make that decision. You make that decision. We all make that decision. So, delegates, the question before you all is a challenge that has been brought forth. So, you all are going to be voting on a motion shortly, and if you vote in favor of this, This takes the form of a amendment to the main motion of adopting the committee role, so it is debatable. If there's questions or before we proceed into debate, I'm going to make sure that we will wait for you all to be heard down there. Now we know. Okay, so what I'm learning is that this is our only sound system and this is our only microphone. We're working on getting another, but I'm going to ask you all to please be patient. It's very sensitive. So, if you have a question or would like to speak to the motion on the challenge, I ask that you raise your hand. I will listen closely and I will repeat it back to the room. So first, please state your name and your precinct to begin.
Meg Tuthill, 10, 1 or 3 or whatever we are from there.
Meg Tuthill, 10, 1 or 3.
My question is clarification. Were these people challenged because the rules changed after the deadline? This is not clear enough. I want to know why the challenge was brought. I want to know the details of it because just this one statement is not enough for me to be able to vote with knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate, Meg Tuthill, asked for clarification on why the delegates were challenged, the timeline, and how everything held in place. So I'm going to yield to the credentials to the chair.
Sorry for lack of clarity earlier. The challenge was made because the delegates were, so all campaigns in the city were emailed to let them know about I believe it was a 12-hour extension that was given to all campaigns to change their sign-ups on the form that you filled out, the online form. We have another concept. Is that exciting? So the challenge was, yes.
So when folks were filling out their caucus forms to be a delegate or to participate in the caucus through the contactless process this year, everyone had until 11:59 p.m. on that Tuesday to submit their caucus attendee or non-attendee form. It just contains their information. One of the questions on that form was, do you want to be a delegate? Do you want to be an alternate or no? And what happened was a number of individuals did not fill that out, did not affirmatively express their interest in being delegates. This appeared to be a systemic problem across Minneapolis DFL and a number of wards, and so there was a request from the majority of the campaigns, this city council campaigns this year, to allow the campaigns to contact their delegates and allow them to clarify that yes, they do indeed want to be a delegate, and that happened within about a 12-hour, 10-hour window or extension after the original 11:59 deadline. And so all forms were in by 11:59. It was the amendments to indicate I want to be a delegate, since that area was misfilled out or not filled out for these 78 delegates in question. So again, the challenge which has been brought is do we remove these 78 people or do we keep them? If you vote yes on this motion, it would remove these 78 delegates and alternates. If you on the motion for the challenge? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to a vote. The only individuals who are eligible to vote for this are delegates with blue badges. We're going to be taking this as a voice vote. If the results of that voice vote are not clear, we will then proceed to a raising of badges or hands. But first, we're going to do a voice vote. The question for you all to vote on is shall the 78 delegates and alternates in question, whose status is changed, there's an individual who's rising the question. Please rise and state your name and precinct.
My name is Swami. Where's the translator? There's people that don't understand sometimes.
Oh, yeah. We're asked about translation. Translators for Somali and Spanish are here at the front. Could our translator raise your hand? Okay. So, yeah. Okay, I will re-explain the motion again. I will ask our translator to re-explain it, and then handing over the debate, we'll then move on to the vote. So the question before you all is the challenge. If you vote in favor of the challenge, that will have the 78 delegates and alternates in question. Their status will be removed, and they will no longer be able to participate today. If you vote against the challenge, those 78 individuals will be able to continue to participate today. The Credentials Committee recommends voting against this challenge. So the question is, on the challenge, shall the 78 delegates and alternates be removed?
in laga bixiyo listiga iyo in kale inaan wadaysan marka dadka taageersan in dadkaas ay ku jiraan listiga oo codeeya dadka diidana already oo ka tabitaanaya ka hadlay haddii aad taageersan tahay dadka almidka ah in ay ku jiraan oo ay darbiga noqdaan codeeya marka gacanta ku taageersan
So again, the question is, those in favor of the motion to remove the 78 delegates and alternates from their status, at this time, please raise your blue delegate badges. Those in favor of the motion.
haddii dadka sababeyga ah inay codeeyaan noo codeeya
question.
Yeah.
Do you understand what's going on here?
Yes, we all want to vote no.
Right.
The problem is there's a language barrier,
Yes.
and I think there's confusion on whether or not the translation is being made correctly.
Okay. Yeah, that translator was the one who came up to us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't actually know.
Every campaign was notified. If you want to give a call to your people who have signed up, or at least like in the system, ask them if they want to be delegates. Because a lot of times people don't know that they not only need to caucus, but they also need to check the box to be a delegate. So it's the curing period for becoming a delegate. And now 78 of them said, yes, I actually meant to be a delegate. I just didn't know to check the box. So the translator is translating. Oh my God. For the credentials, people follow what they say. I believe it's 12 hours. Yes. Yep. He was here. Oh, wait, he was there. One minute.
Thank you for your patience. We were consulting to make sure we were communicating clearly.
وعن ست سنين تقدر ما تقول عليه الكلام على قدر السجن أو صحتها الموضوع اللي أنت
I will explain the motion one more time to be very clear.
حرنا هنا بيعمل المرشد وحط هاي وحط ست كيلو مرة ورشة فبصير كده وليس.
The motion is a challenge to remove 78 delegates and alternates. If you vote in favor of the motion, you're voting in favor of removing the 78 delegates and alternates.
مرشد وحواي وهي السوجيري أو السوجيريين كرنيشة كوميتيفو إن دلتا دواعي نسبية قفا وألتميلا وتسكينا كلام منيا إلا نبحي الليستيكا في الجوغان هذا أنا سنتين إن الليستيكا لنبحي وحورا للمسيحيات هذا أنا كتب حاسين الجوغان وحورا للمسيحيات ما فهمت
Again, if you're voting in favor of the motion, you are voting to remove the 78 delegates and alternates.
في المرشد التغيير إنسان وحالين دكا كبحان من معنى الوجهات لنا هذين دكا تبتدي كل جوغان وحالنا هاي مايا أنت مش ثاني هذا كده دكا جوغان وحالنا مايا هذا كده على أبعاد لكن دكتور السوشيال شيء إنت تزوجان.
Can you please?
If you're voting, again, if you're voting no, you're voting to keep the 78 delegates and alternates. Silence in the convention hall. A delegate has risen to a point of order. Please state your name, your precinct, and the point for which you rise. David Over Patterson, 10-9. The delegate rose to a point of order that campaigns need to communicate with their supporters, that you please do that in the hallway so that we can have a low-level volume to proceed with our business. The chair finds the point of order well taken, and I will request and instruct Sergeant at Arms to instruct attendees that we are having full-level conversations that will please take it to the hallway.
Testing. This works too. Okay. We're going to go to the vote now on the question. One last time, the vote in favor is to remove the 78 delegates and alternates. The vote in opposition is to keep those 78 delegates and alternates in question. Again, you may only vote if you have a blue badge. So only individuals with a blue badge may vote. We're going to call for this one at a time. First, I'm going to call for those in favor of the motion to remove the 78. Then I'm going to call and ask for those opposed to the motion to remove the 78. That is the recommendation of the Credentials Committee. At this time, individuals in favor of the motion to remove the 78 delegates, raise your badge. Please just raise your hand. Okay, you can put your badges down. Please be seated.
No, they didn't understand that. No, they didn't understand.
next vote is
Say yes, guys. Yes, everybody, move up. Yes. Yes.
take a moment. We're taking over. Thank you.
Now there's only this question instead of these two questions. I mean, it was clearly a mistake. So I emailed her so she could,
Sit down.
Oh, but no, for the actual voting.
So I'm just gonna say I thought this question
What they're going to do is they're going to hold up your match. They're going to put your match down at that point. There's going to be a little bit of chaos on the yes side when the vote happens. So we're just going to continue to vote no, raise our match, just help do everything we can to help the tellers, make this an easy process.
Stand up and show the information. There's no information being communicated ever since. It's like communicating lines up to people are yelling.
What's the question?
How do you live tweet an event like this?
Oh.
It was John question. John, we got to get a man on a people story. The chaos agent is this guy. I want to know about it. The one that keeps wandering around and changing what he's telling people to yell. I want to know
the
about
suit
it.
jacket?
Yes.
Yeah, it
Seems
seems
like
like
an
the
independent. I think we could sway
Warsame
on our side.
campaign is not happy with him.
That's why I want to know. I want to know that story. What's going on? I understand the confusion. This is a purely sarcastic ask.
Yeah.
He also came up earlier and asked if we were snatching people's badges.
Because we were asking people their names.
We were just reading people and
Very
either thought or heard through the grapevine that we were trying to rip people's badges off of them.
You did it to me when I came in.
Yeah, we're totally just like, took it from your neck.
We don't rip, we stealth scissors. Just a little razor cut.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So just 20, you were at the 2018 SD62, weren't you?
SD what? 61? 62?
This was with, this is when Jen Cater ran. We hold on to Sun.
Maybe? Is that the time they did like the...
This is at Ramsey Middle School, and they totally trashed the school, and we're never let it go out back then.
I think I was there, although there were like two parts of that convention, right?
Yeah, there was because there was 2 house races.
I might not have been in the right one, but yeah, it was
The Aisha Gomez one was fine. The other one was, they ended up winning was hold on to Sun. It was terrible.
Is this the only question we have to go through?
This is the longest gap between a yes and a no vote I have ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't just continue.
Are we gonna have to do a dozen more translations before we do the no vote?
This guy with the purple, who's taller,
Yeah.
there was some falling out where, so I know DGP was saying that he worked with them a while back on like a birding campaign. Now he's like going the other way.
It appears the historic district is with Warsame.
Oh yeah.
Big surprise.
So when in doubt, vote against Big Tony. Sounds. I don't even know if she knows it. Just
It's a
pulling a Meg.
out of spite.
Yeah, what you doing?
Delegates, you have your attention. Thank you. We're going to explain this one more time. We're going to make sure we're very clear. Part of what makes democracy work is that we understand what we're voting on. So we're going to explain this very clearly. We're going to explain the process in which we're going to do this and conduct this vote on these credentials challenges. So,
السلام عليكم. ولا إذا شرحي دونا سيد بروسس وشقينايو فضلا سيد جنان ولا شقية ضدك ترينايو أدين كورن بوغن هذا بوغن وحبنا وما شقينايو وأنا سيد جنان أدون دقي ستان أقول راعدان وأنا سلوك ترتيب أيام بروسس كلوسا من دونا مركا بوغلا عن وين مريم.
So we're going to move to the vote on the credentials challenge in just a moment, and I will explain the instructions.
وإذا شرحي دونا سيدا لو بروسس لو معركتي أو سعونيسو أيضا ترتيبا ونا إذا شرحي دونا إن الله سعود.
First, I will explain how we're going to do this process. Once I'm done explaining, we will then do the vote.
markuu sharaxo kabacdi ayaa codka la qaadi doonaa markuu uu sharaxo processka kadib ayaa codka la qaadi doonaa waxaan isku dayaynaa inaan si clear ah idinkula socodsiino processka ee inala socda.
First, I will ask for those voting to remove the 78 delegates and alternates to raise their badges. At that time, our two sergeants at arms, Latanya and Quinton, will go around the room and will count all of the raised delegate badges. So again, when we come to the point when you want to vote, you're going to raise your badge and keep it up. Keep it up until one of the sergeants at arms points at you. You are then counted. You may put your badge down. So again, when we get to the vote, we will call for those in favor and against. When you want to vote the way you do, you will raise your delegate badge. The sergeants at arms will go around the room and count. And when you're counted, you put your badge down.
marka la codeynaayo laba cod ayaa loo kala bixi doonaa codka hore ayuu idin weydiin doonaa in la codeeyo waa haddaad taas tahay codkaasaa tahay baajkaad taagaysaa blue baajkaad taagaysaa haddaadan ahayn ha taagin sug because waxaa la gaari doonaa raam kale oo lagu weydiinaayo ma codkaan ayaad rabtaa kabacdi midkaas haddaad tahay kaasaad baajka taagaysaa haddii codka marka la qaadayo laba qaybay ahaan doontaa adiga hubso si tartiibaa loo qaadi doonaa annagaa waqti idin fahansiin doono make sure inaadan iska taagin baajka waxaa jooga laba qof ee tirinaya one by one waxay bilinka dhalay mari doonaan way tirin doonaan labadaas qof intay ka tirinayaan haddaad codkaas aad u codaynayso kor u hay sug ilaa laga dhammeeyo buuq la'aan.
So now that we've explained the process, in one moment, we will begin voting. Please wait. So again, next we will be, yes, let's point out the two sergeants at arms.
gacmaha labada qof ee dadka tirin doona waa gabadhan iyo wiilkaas. waa gabadhan halkan taagan iyo wiilkaas ayaa dadka tirin doona.
So now, everyone who wants to vote to remove the 78 delegates and alternates at this time, raise your blue badge and keep them up. Again, if you want to remove the 78 delegates and alternates, raise your badge at this time.
haddaad rabto in la saaro 78 delegateska iyo alternative-ka dadka ah ee jooga in lagu bedelo baajkaaga taag. haddaad rabto in la saaro 78 delegateska iyo alternative-ka dadka ah baajka taag. korna u hay ilaa laydinka tiriyo. haddaad rabto in la saaro 78 delegateska iyo alternative-ka kor u hay ilaa lagaaga imaado oo la tiriyo. aanan aamusno, hala aamuso.
This would be extraordinarily unprecedented.
kor u hay ilaa lagaaga imaado laga tiriyo. waa lagu imaanayaa. buuqa hala joojiyo si ay noogu suurto gasho.
Way back there.
kor u hay ilaa lagaa tiriyo. haddaad rabto in la saaro 78 delegateska iyo alternative-ka kor u hay ilaa lagaa tiriyo.
All badges lowered, the vote in favor is completed. Now we're going to move on to those who want to keep the 78 delegates and alternates.
hadda waxaan la qaadi doonaa codka labaad oo ah inay joogaan delegateska 78-ka iyo alternative-ka. codkii labaad la qaadi doonaa weli lama gaarin. suga codka labaad la qaadi doonaa in 78-ka iyo alternative-ka ay joogaan.
At this time, to vote in favor of keeping the 78 delegates and alternates, raise your badge at this time.
hadda kor u taag baajkaaga haddaad rabto inay joogaan 78 delegateska iyo alternative-ka. baajkaaga kor u taag. waa laydin imaanayaa, waa laydin tirinayaa. kor u hay ilaa lagaaga imaado. waxaa idin imaan doona wiilkaas iyo gabadha xagga maraysa.
Please keep your badges raised until you are counted.
kor u hay ilaa lagaaga imaado oo lagu tiriyo. kor u hay ilaa lagaa tiriyo.
She.
I think she does.
Okay.
Wow. That was supposed to be the easy vote.
All right, deep cut NBA joke. Someone should have worn a Joel Embiid jersey and just kept chanting "Trust the process" over and over and over.
The next, the actual endorsement ones are on a paper ballot, right? Which hopefully will be a little easier.
At this time, I will welcome Brian Baker to the microphone. Brian is one of the co-chairs for today and will be reporting the results of that vote.
hadda waxaa lagu wareejin doonaa mikrofoonka Brian asaga oo nala wadaagi doona codadka waxaa lagu wareejin doonaa Brian oo codadka nala wadaagi doona.
Hi, everybody. I'm back in CD5 again. My name's Brian Baker. For those of you who don't know me, I used to live in CD5 for about 5 years. I'm your impartial person from Congressional District 3, Anoka County, and I'm on the State Executive Committee for the DFL. So it doesn't get more impartial than that. So there being 79 votes in favor of removing and 122 votes in favor of keeping. Thus, those 78 delegates will be seated. Thank you, everybody.
57 minutes from now.
We're gonna have to go to Josh Martin on this one because that's basically is that a 60% threshold?
Everyone's.
That's the endorsement.
hal mar aan isdhegaysano waxaan isla wadaagaynaa codkii soo baxay aan isdhegaysano fadlan aan isdhegaysano
With that, with those numbers, exactly 60%.
Oh, let me take a photo of your calculator. Thank you.
So many people stay.
Okay, yes. We have a point of order. And we request the credentials here to the front, please. And our first point of order is over here.
Charlotte, 10-6, orders of the day. Mr. Chair, we cannot conduct a convention when every time someone wants to go to the chair and disrupt the business, they get to stop business for 5 minutes. Orders of the day, we have an agenda on the this agenda.
Your point of order, Delegate, your point of order is very well taken. Do we have any other? Okay, you're going to take the microphone, you're going to state your precinct and who you are. And
My name is Muhammad. Ward 10. Precinct 7. They cannot vote each other. Point of order. Translated with they cannot vote. Point of order. They cannot vote for themselves. please. هاي اسمه قضية كلام حدودا بليز اسمه قضية كلام حدودا 78 نحن مو قضية كلام حدودا.
It's like a reasonably logical argument. I don't think it's right.
This is a different process where the and I love watching.
I understand.
It breaks the entire system because the body should help enjoy their minds.
I haven't peed my pants
Like, I
yet,
understand
so
that question. It's a logical question, regardless if it's correct.
Exactly, but the issue
should have brought two microphones with me for my podcast episode with chaos in the background. Trying to talk through the yelling and the translation and the gabbling. Right, yeah. Stand in the back and people would be like, oh, I was gravel back there too? I think we were going to do the Q&A? How's that going to work? Shut up.
Thank you. So, again, the delegate rose to call for orders of the day. That means we need or demand to have a stay on agenda. Brian Baker, the other co-chair, found that well taken. We were resolving on the stage the question brought forth in a point of order regarding that objected to the manner and the results of the vote. The chair finds that the point of order is not well taken, and the results of the ballot are sustained, and thus the 78 delegates and alternates in question are seated. They remain seated. Are there any further credentials challenges to the chair? Any further challenges? Any further challenges? Seeing none, the temporary roll as not amended, as presented, is approved.
Why are they not translating? Half the school doesn't speak English.
It is now in order at this time that if your delegation is not full and not all of your delegates are here and checked in, it would be in order at this time for alternates to be upgraded.
Like that feels pretty disenfranchising.
So we will be explaining the process for how upgrading of alternates happens. And also that each precinct will need to select a delegation chair to assist in that process. So I will turn the microphone to Brian Baker to explain.
Okay. Completely agree. It's just there's so many people talking up there right now. I hope someone is bringing that point up.
So I say point of order.
It's not that hard.
Please, people. Thank you. Okay, well, I'm going to proceed. You have a point of order?
I'm here. I'm staying. I'm just going to the bathroom. Don't let them
Bob to 7 to 5, please. 7 to 5. We're moving to 7 to 5 now. My point of order is rule. Number 7. Convention shall not be adjourned until. Number 7.
So, you know.
Thank you. The delegate rose to a point of order.
We're just trying to get to first ballot.
Seeking to amend the rules. That
the
is
other
not
side
the process
knows that
to
we
amend
have
the
it,
rules.
and so they're just trying to
A
stall.
little bit later on the agenda, we'll be adopting the agenda and rules. When we are considering the agenda and rules at that time, it would be in order to make an amendment.
They should have just done that from the beginning. Just traded off the entire time. It takes a little bit longer, but it would have been clearer from the beginning.
Not an eligible motion.
Just a reminder, we're not supporting.
So, again, now we move on to item number 9 of the agenda, which is adoption of agenda and rules. So, this is a report of the board committee, so it is a motion put before us, doesn't need a second. And the question for you all is approval of the temporary and proposed permanent rules and agenda, which was available for distribution. So at this time, we will be discussing approving the proposed rules and agenda to govern the remainder of this convention. I'll ask our translator to explain that. Again, the next item is we will be discussing and voting to approve the proposed rules and agenda.
waxaan markaan hadda laga hadlayaa waxaa loo gudbay in waxaan markaan laga hadli doonaa approved ruleska iyo ajendaha ayaa loo gudbayaa kaasaana laga hadli doonaa asagaana idiin sharixi doona anna waan idiin soo gudbin doonaa bit by bit.
So the question is before the body on approval of agenda and rules. Discussion is in order at this time. If there is no discussion, then we'll proceed to voting on approval. But if there is anyone who wishes to make a motion at this time, it is in order. The chair recognizes the delegate at the front. Please approach the stage. The delegate asked, when will we have an opportunity to make amendments to the rules? Now is the time to do that. If you want to propose a change in the rules, you're going to want to seek recognition and make an amendment and move to amend the rules, and we'll take it from there.
dadka delegateska haddaad rabto in la bedelo wax rule ah hadda ayaa gacanta taagan kartaa ood codsan kartaa in la bedelo ruleska hadda ayaad gacanta taagan kartaa ood codsan kartaa bedel in lagu sameeyo ruleska.
Hi, delegate. For what purpose do you rise? Okay, the chair of the member rises to a point of order. Please state your name, precinct, and your point.
Number 7, I want to change. I want to change. Yes. Yeah, Mr. Wasan, and Ward 10, Mr. 7. I would like to change $5. Please.
The delegate rose and has moved to amend the rules to amend rule number 7. The rule currently states, the convention shall not adjourn until 7 ballots for city council endorsement have been taken. The delegate has proposed an amendment to change that to 5 ballots, so that it would read, the convention shall not adjourn until 5 ballots for city council endorsement have been taken. I also want to yield to our folks at the Rules Committee to explain a little bit about how these rules came to be developed.
Thank you. My name is Chris Stinson. I'm from 10-8. On April 17th, Gary did a nice job of convening the Rules Committee. Everyone who expressed an interest in the rules was invited, and both campaigns were represented. On April 17th, Gary convened the Rules Committee. Everyone who expressed an interest in the rules was invited, and both campaigns were represented.
April 17 ayay qabteen maalin ay dejinayaan rulka dadka dareenaya rulkaasna way marti qaadeen April 17 ayayna rulalka la dejiyeen.
We spent about 3 hours discussing each rule, why they mattered, and how the rules interact with each other.
waxaana laga hadlay rulalka muhiimadda ay leeyihiin iyo siday u wada shaqaynayaan rulalkaas ayaa maalintaa laga hadlay April 17.
I want to thank the committee members for taking all that time considering the rules so that you don't have to. Copies of the rules are available as you checked in.
rulka kaabigiisu waa yaallaa markaad soo gelayseen ayaa idinla wadaagi karay waxaana u mahad celiyey dadkii ka qayb qaatay rulalkan in la dejiyo.
This is a balanced package that gives both campaigns a fair shot to win your endorsement and your support.
Balancekana waa mid la rabo inuu fair u noqdo labada dhinacba.
Also important, both campaigns agreed to these rules almost a month ago.
labada campaignna way ogolaadeen rulalkan bil ka hor.
I encourage you to adopt the rules as written and not spend time considering amendments.
يعني وقتي كل من سيدي معركتي هو كان لو بدليل.
So, a delegate rose before our committee chair gave the report from the committee. A delegate rose to amend rule number 7 to change it from 7 ballots to 5 ballots. Is there a second for that motion?
Translate it.
I hear a second.
delegate ayaa gacan taagtay oo yiri rulka 7 ballots in la bedelo oo 5 ballots loo bedelo ayaga ayaana sheegtay waa ninka halkan taagnaa bashka delegate wuxuu codsaday 5 ballot in laga dhigo qof labaad hadduu jiro gacan ayaa taagan kartaa.
So, if you would like to speak on this motion in favor or opposed, at this time, please actually come and queue up towards the front of the room, and we will alternate speakers in favor and opposed to the motion to change from 7 to 5 ballots.
haddaad ku raacsan tahay oo ay jirto inaad ku raacsan tahay in 7 ballots laga bedelo 5 loo bedelo oo aad ku raacsan tahay qofkii halkaa yimid waad soo istaagi kartaa haddaad ka soo horjeedidna waad soo istaagi kartaa oo aad leedahay 7 ballots laga dhigo.
At this time, individuals who would like to speak for or against the motion to change from 7 to 5 ballots, please queue at the front of the room. I will first recognize a speaker who wants to speak in favor of the motion to change from 7 to 5 ballots. The chair recognizes the delegate. Please state your name, your precinct, and then you will have up to 1 minute.
Marjorie Simon, Precinct 1, and I rise in support of the amendment because conventions should not be an endurance campaign. They should be an opportunity for us to express our opinions and vote. I don't see a need to extend this for 7 votes. I think in 5 we can clearly get an idea of what's needed and vote it back. This is not endurance. This is about convictions.
This is a the process. It would make as much sense to say, let's do 18. We're not
That was
we're
a
not doing
speech
5, we're not doing the 7.
favor. It's now in order for a speech against the motion. Delegate, who will purpose to rise? Okay, please state your name, your precinct, and you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Chair. Again, my name is Brandon Schorsch, Precinct 10-9, pronouns he, him. I'm speaking against this motion. I served on the Rules Committee. I was the secretary for said meeting. I looked both candidates and both of their campaign managers in the eyes as they agreed to every one of these items, specifically this item about 7 ballots. For anyone who's never been to a convention before, let me explain an important part of this. If we hit 60% for anything, be it no endorsement or for any candidate, we're out of here. It could be 1 ballot, it could be 4 ballots, but if you've ever been to a convention that gets to that magic 5 and somebody's sitting at 58, you're gonna end up being there for more ballots anyways. And you're gonna have people trying to go and change the rules. And if you just have it here at the beginning, you end up saving yourself a lot of time at the end instead of people bickering with each other at ballot number 5 to get to that kind of So I recommend voting against this amendment and adopting the rules package as written. Thank you.
laba qof aa halkaan soo istaagay qof wuxuu ku raacay in 7 times qof wuxuu ku raacay yarkii hore halkaan u yimid in 5 jeer la tiriyo qofna waa uu ka soo horjeestay oo wuxuu yidhi waxaan rabaa in 7 jeer la tiriyo 7 jeer in la codeeyo qofna wuxuu yidhi laba qofna waxay dhaheen 5 jeer.
We've heard 1 speech in favor and 1 opposed to the motion to amend the proposed rules to change the number of ballots from 7 to 5, as found in rule number 7. Delegate, for what purpose do you rise? The delegate rises to speak in favor. Please state your name, your precinct, and you have 1 minute.
My name is Tamara Kaiser. I'm precinct number 3. I think We have only 2 candidates. We should not take this. The standard is 5, and I'm not sure why it got pushed to 7, but I think we should stay where we stay at 5. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a speech in opposition. At this time, a speech in favor. Okay. I'm sorry, not a speech in favor. At this time, a speech in opposition will be in order. We ask for folks to please quiet down. Thank you. Delegate, for what purpose do you rise? Okay. The delegate rises in opposition. Please state your name, your precinct, and you have 1 minute.
Chris Stinson, 10-8. Both campaigns agreed to these rules almost a month ago. It would be unfair and improper to alter the playing field during the game. Rules fights on the floor, even well-intentioned rules amendments, do not save this body time. We spent 3 hours at Bryant Square Rec Center so that you don't have to. Do not relitigate the rules now in front of everybody. I encourage you to reject the amendment and get to the work of endorsing.
Up to 1 more speech on either side of this question is in order. So we may have up to 1 more speaker on either side.
qof kale loo dhiibi doonaa oo inuu ama la jiro ama ka soo horjeedaan.
For what purpose do you rise? So the chair calls on the delegate. Please state your name, your precinct, and you have 1 minute.
السلام عليكم magacaygu waa Run Macalin precinct A ka imaaday anigu waxaan rabaa inaan ii sheego daar anaga 5 aan rabnaa 5 is more than enough 7 ma rabno 5 aan loo fiican 5 enough ay tahay daba socoto soo 5taas aan rabaa mari
She said she is a favor for 5 rounds, 5 billion.
Okay, so we have heard 3 speeches in favor and 2 against. Debate for those speaking in favor of the motion has exhausted. If there's a delegate who wants to speak against the motion, that would be in order. I do not see any at the front. So at this time, we'll proceed to voting on the question. So delegates, the question before you is, shall the Rule 7 be amended? Delegate, for what purpose do you rise? So again, delegates, we're going to proceed to voting on this proposed rule change. Just like before, we're going to count your delegate badges. So not yet, wait for the instruction, but we're going to explain that in a moment we're going to be voting using delegate badges like we did before.
Do you know where Tracy went? Or not, what's his name? You're Tracy. Who, we're missing someone. Yeah, Thomas. You're back there. Okay, good.
waxaa loo codayn doonaa in ama 5 round la sameeyo ama 7 round la sameeyo ayaa loo codayn doonaa. weli lama gaarin, markii la gaaro in la codeeyo waa laidin sheegi doonaa si aad u taagtiin baajkiina.
Please remember to be seated by your precinct. Your delegate badge states your precinct. Make sure that you are seated in the correct area or very close.
ماشي lagugu talagalay oo aad fadhisay fadlan meeshaada fadhi hana ka fogaani.
So again, very important. In a moment, I will be asking for delegates to raise their badges for either side of this proposed change to the rules. As before, it is important that when you vote, you raise your blue delegate badge and you keep it raised until one of our sergeants at arms counts you, and then you may put it down.
وأنت إذا شغلي أو مركي هرب بحاله عدين دونا إن شن راوند التريو أما تطور راوند التريو مركي عدك الجارين كاتا ينسلتها هيك أنت باشا أنا إذا لسه وداعي دونا بدهم بهو عدين ست ترتيبة ضد تريانا ويجوغا لبادي قف هداية تريس أنا هذا الترين دونا.
So please look out for our sergeants at arms, Latanya and Quentin. They are the ones who will count you.
Latanya and Quentin ayaa tirin doona oo idin imaan doona kor waxay ilaa lagaga imaado.
At this time, those in favor of changing the rules from 7 rounds of ballots to 5 rounds of ballots. At this time, please raise your blue delegate badge and keep it raised.
dadka raba in shan round la tiriyo bahasha buluuga ah taag haddaad rabto in shan round la tiriyo baajkaaga taag haddaad rabto shan round in la tiriyo baajkayna taaga kor wahaaya ilaa laydinkaga imaado oo la tiriyo.
Please keep your hands raised until you are counted.
fadlan kor wahaay ilaa lagaaga imaado oo lagaa tiriyo. kor wahaay ilaa lagaaga imaado oo la tiriyo.
And I respectfully request representatives of campaigns to please allow space for our sergeants at arms to accurately count.
dadka kambeynka oo kala shaqeynaya labada kambeyn fursad ha siiyaan dadka tirinaayo ayuu leeyahay marka kor wahaay ilaa lagaaga imaado oo la tiriyo. haddaad rabtid in shan loo bedelo shan jeer in la tiriyo haddaad rabtid kor wahaay kor wahaaya.
Yes, an individual in the room asked about alternates being upgraded and entering the room. That doesn't affect the current room.
dadka imaanayo delegates way soo geli karaan. floorka freeze maahan way imaan karaan way codayn karaan. dadka banaanka ku baqan oo soo galaayo way soo geli karaan. dadkiina banaanka idinkaga maqan waad soo geli kartaan way codayn karaan.
Thank you. That is all the votes in favor of the motion. If you haven't yet, please put your badges down. At this time, we'll now ask for anyone voting against the motion to change the rules to raise your badge at this time. Again, this is if you want to keep the rules as proposed at 7 rounds of balloting and not change to 5 rounds. And please listen for our translator to explain.
رولك أول سنوها أو سبب تتوجه لو تريو قاعد بهاش باش تاني تتوجه إلى تريو تكروا تاجين تتوجه إلى تكروا إلى تريو باش كتورو تاجين.
Please keep your hands raised until a sergeant at arms counts you.
كرو هاي هوسو نيجا كرو هاي إلا اللي كجاي ماله أو لغات تريو تتوجه رفق الرباط من أهم من أهم تتوجه رفق الرباط كرو هاي هوسو نيجا
The Sergeant at Arms wants you to put your thing down. No, Sergeant at Arms. You're the chair.
We have results for the amendment, the vote on the amendment to change from 7 to 5 rounds.
نمبردي والصوت تريين وانا لهايا حتى أيوة دلوا ذاكين.
98 delegates voted in favor and 122 voted against the proposed rule change.
سياسي سديد واحد هان هلا بدلوا بقول إلى واتري لنا واحد هان رول كسنوها وتتوجه إلى التريو هلا بهاي.
Therefore, the proposal to change the rules from 7 to 5 rounds of balloting does not pass.
سيدا درتين لما بدلا أيوة رول كف
Some people just listen.
أو تتوجه أيا لترين دونا because أيا نمبر بدتي وبقول إلى واتري لنا.
It took us just under 38 minutes to go from that first vote to the second vote.
Conventions should not be an endurance contest, Peter.
So the motion to amend the rules does not pass. We return to the question of approval of the proposed agenda and rules as presented. So we are now back to discussing the full package of proposed rules with no changes.
نغير ملا بدلين رولكي وحلقة اللي تونا رولكي already in place ها أيا حدنا أو discuss كردونا.
So unless there's any delegates who wish to make any further motions, the discussion and the question is on approval of the proposed agenda and rules as presented. An individual has asked to call the question. Could you please rise and state your name, your precinct? So Brandon Schorsch in 10-9 has moved the previous question, The motion has been seconded. Here's what it means. If this motion passes, it requires a 2/3 vote. We will end all debate on the rules, and we'll move to final vote on approving the rules or not approving the rules. So again, Brandon has brought forth a motion to end debate and proceed to a final vote on the proposed rules. I'll allow our translator to explain.
waxay soo jeediyeen in dooda la joojiyo oo toos doorashada loo aado haddii qof su'aal qaba jiro gacanta ha taago
The delegate rises to a point of order. Please state your name, your precinct, and the point of order for which you rise. And please use the microphone.
I'm asking about the fourth.
This is precinct. Okay, I didn't know where the precinct was.
It says registration of delegates and alternates to the convention shall continue until adjournment. Would these be new registrations, people that previously weren't delegates? Or
So the delegate rose with election and the appointed parliamentary regarding question 4, the delegate asked, are delegates continuing to be registered and ultimately upgraded? The answer is yes, and that will continue as folks arrive or leave.
then just let me clarify. Were these people previously declared delegates? Why?
Yep. No one will be made a delegate who's on the delegate list. So I'll re-explain one more time. The delegate asked, is anyone being upgraded to a delegate who was not on the list be approved? And the answer is no. So only those on the list have been provided credentials or badges or to be a delegate.
wuxuu leeyahay only dadkii hore loo diiwaangeliyey baasha buluuga ah isku badalgeeda inta kala dalgeeda haddana waxaa
So the question before you all is on moving the previous question to end debate on the rules. So again, this is for those who wish to end debate. As a motion of previous question is not debatable, we'll proceed immediately to a vote as we've resolved the point of order. When we vote at this time, a vote yes will be to end discussion on the rules and immediately vote on them. A vote no will be to continue to allow further debate on these rules. So again, a vote in favor is to end debate and proceed to voting on the proposed rules. A vote in opposition, voting no, means we will continue to debate the rules, provided there's any more speakers.
Okay, haddii aad weli wax laga doodo doodu sii socoto uu debate sii socdo waxaa leedahay yes waxaan sii wadaynaa debate iyo dooda haddii wax aad ka camalaysaan waxaa isleedahay waa qandatiin waxaa leedahay waa hadalka iyo debate baa sii socda haddii aad leedahay hadalka iyo debate hala xiro toos aan doorashada u aadno gacantaa taagaysa haddii aad delegate tahay fadlan ha bixin haleeltaa bilaabanaysa.
We're going to take this as a voice vote. All those in favor of ending debate and moving on to voting on the proposed rules package, raise your badges, hold them up. Not a voice vote, sorry. Raise badge vote. So if you want to end debate and proceed to voting on the rules, raise your badge at this time.
haddii aad leedahay hadalka hala joojiyo doorashada
soo su'aalno waxaad taagaysaa baajka haddaan leedahay waxaan weli qabnaa su'aalo su'aalaha rabnaa weli inaad barnaamij kaga jawaabo sug markaaga lagu weydiina waad taaganaysaa.
You may put your hands down. Put your hands down. Okay, those opposed to the motion to end debate and proceed to voting on the question. So if you want to keep debating the rules, at this time raise your badge to vote no. Okay, please, yes, raise your badge if you're voting against ending debate.
Raise your hand. Baajka kor u taag haddii aad qabtid su'aashaas baajka kor u taag ku leh. Baajka kor u taag ku leh.
You may put your hands down.
Baajka kor u leh.
In the judgment of the chair, the motion for previous question passes. So we will end debate on the rules at this time. So again, the motion to end debate passes. We will, in a moment, now vote on the proposed rules package.
Okay, waa la baasgareeyay dooda la joojiyo. Waxaan joognaa markii aan doorashada bilaabnay marka hala safada mushkilada la
Okay, we will now proceed. Thank you. We will now proceed to the vote on the proposed rules. Delegates, attention, please. We ask that if you are going to continue conversations, that you take them outside of the auditorium. Thank you. We'll now proceed to the vote. The question is on approval of the proposed agenda and rules as presented. Those in favor of approving these proposed agenda and rules, please indicate by raising your badge at this time.
haddii aragtid in ajendaha loo codeeyo yaasne haddii aragtid in ajendaha loo codeeyne maya leha ajendaha haddii aragtid loo codeeyo yaasa leeda baadkaaga taagay haddii aragtid ajendaha inaan loo codeeyne oo su'aal qabtinne no aa leedahay waa
Thank you. You may put your badges down. Next, those opposed to adoption of this proposed agenda and rules. Those opposed to adopting these rules and agenda at this time, raise your badge.
haddii aad kasoo horjeedid ajendaha oo su'aal qabtid baadkaa kor u taag baadkaa kor u taag
Okay, you may put your badges down. The ayes clearly have it, and the proposed agenda and rules as proposed are adopted.
su'aal qabaa jiro
Okay. wuxuu dhahay ajendaha haddii laga soo horjeedo oo qof ajendaha ka soo horjeeda jiro baajka ha taaga haddii ajendaha taageersantaha oo dabnaanta fakorta loo aadane baa ajendaha waxaa waa doorashada hadda la aado oo la joojiyo hadalka
The next item on the agenda, which has been adopted by you all, is committee reports, if any. I need folks to quiet down. Please, again, if you're going to have conversations, take them outside the convention hall.
wuxuu idin leeyahay fadlan hala aamuso hala aamuso aan aamusnuu leeyahay hadduu jiro dad raba inay sheekaystaan bannaanka ha aadaan laakiin hala aamuso ayuu idin leeyahay aan aamusna fadlan
Next, I would like to invite a representative of the Credentials Committee to the stage to give a report.
qof international community ka mid ah ayaa report usoo gudbin doona oo idinla wadaagi doona
Current delegate count is 203. Correction, 228 active delegates. Will the following people please go to the credentials table to be upgraded? Jesse Sturbuck, Hallie Norman, Wakado Oman, Krista Martinka. Again, that's from Precinct 7, Jesse Sturbuck. Precinct 9, Hallie Norman. Swakado Oman. Krista Matrinka. Please go to the table in the hallway to get your upgraded delegate status.
I'm just precinct captain. I checked people in. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just working on my Straw House blog.
Oh, you sent me a link to that. I didn't know you were
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. I've even got cards.
Now, is this made out of straw paper? Though?
No.
I'm very disappointed with me.
I'm sorry.
afar qof waxaa jira baajkooda bannaanka yaallo oo loo baahan yahay inay soo qaataan qof waxaa la yidhahdaa Jesse Starbuck Haley Norman ayaa qofka la yidhahdaa Sucaado Cumaan bannaanka aad baajkaaga soo qaado registration table-ka ee bannaanka yaalla baajkaaga ka soo qaado Sucaado Cumaan Krista martinka baajkaaga bannaanka soo qaada ayaa lagu yidhi sucaal cumaan bannaanka aad baajkaaga soo qaada.
Thank you. That concludes the Credentials Committee report. We'll ask if there is a report from our Arrangements Committee. We don't have an arrangements report. So that concludes item 10 of the agenda. We are now done with committee reports.
ريبورتكي أفرت قفلها باجكودا soo qaadanayay waa taas waa la dhameeyey. Next stage aa loo gudbaya.
The next item on the agenda is 11, a fundraising appeal. So I'm going to take a moment and ask you all to consider making a donation to the Minneapolis DFL. We are all volunteers up here. With donated funds is how we get a reservation for this auditorium, how we pay for translators, how we pay for printing and equipment. So I would encourage you to put a couple bucks in the donation bin. I'll place it on the front here. And if you're able to put in a couple dollars, it's greatly appreciated. If you want to put in more than $20 in cash, please don't, because we can't accept more than $20 cash from an individual.
That's it. I'm going to have to do a point of order challenge. And spend another 45 minutes talking about it. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody you... because it was a startup. So speakers may address the body throughout it too. Right. Yeah, that's what's happening. Thank you. You're a gentleman.
Let's try and see that. April 23rd, 3 weeks. Oh. That's the next session. Little less than that,
There's lots of lunch and drinks and refreshments and not being in here in Aisha's room. If anybody wants any of it, doesn't matter who you're supporting or not supporting, just pass it along. Right now, just being unloaded as we speak. So it's out, right, left.
Expected to be contacted, I suppose. I mean, I wasn't contacted. Yeah, I guess. No, that's a crappy. And they just saw down like this guy talking to him.
I'm requesting that the chair of credentials please come to the stage.
There's a man who appreciates a good spread. I feel like they appreciate the ice cream. A bunch of galactic pizzas, a bunch of samosas and samosas, a whole hummus tray, lots of fruit snacks. Were there more votes or was it just I was asking if there were more votes for my timing.